Today we are building a trading hall. It's going to be completely over the top and ridiculous and give us everything we need. But the problem is, I'm running really low on wood. And to add to that, I don't even have anywhere where I can grow trees. So that is what I'm going to fix right now. Firstly, I'm going to build this platform out of snow like we did last time for where the trading hall is going to go. And this should give us more than enough space to grow every tree type. And it will also mean that I don't have to worry about any zombies or zombie villages below burning in the sun. Right, so the first two I wanted to get sorted were the spruce and the dark oak, as these are definitely going to be the most important and the most featured blocks in these builds. I could have used less dirt so we didn't get the pods all generated anywhere, but I actually did this on purpose because I need to plant some mushrooms that we're going to need for the weakness potions when we convert the zombie villagers back. So I planted and bone mealed a load of the mushrooms as well and got plenty of those chopped down. And then it was on to all the other tree types, planted all the other saplings I had and chopped down a lot of trees. I even managed to do a few mangrove trees as well. I also wanted to do a few warp trees. So now I have Silk Touch, I thought I might as well do it in the overworld. So I went to the nether to gather some nylium, went down through the fortress and built a floor down at the lowest point, which should come in handy for farming later. And I built up to the nylium to catch it from underneath. And if you're wondering where I got all this smooth stone from, I have also been busy. I cooked up some logs, some charcoal. I adjusted my stone generator setup and put some water below to collect the stone. And did a little bit of mining there. Smelted the smooth stone with the charcoal and got myself into the nether. So back in the overworld, I laid down some netherrack and spread the nylium onto it, harvested the warped wood, but even with a diamond hoe, removing the warp blocks is really slow. So I decided to jump ahead a bit with the villagers and get some books. Before I did that, I brewed up some weakness potions. Then I traded with 2 librarians and I got Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 4. So I combined those along with Silk Touch and Mending to get a really fast hoe. And then while I was at it, I did the same for a new pick and a new axe. Doing really well for the tools at the moment, just need to get myself a shovel. And with my new fancy tools, I have been putting them to use. And this is what I've got. The spruce, the oak and the dark oak, definitely looking a lot better. I think I still need to do a bit more dark oak, but I think that should do us for now. And yeah, chunk in there. And I've also got quite a bit of the other tree types as well. I am going to take some of this warp stem now, because I've got a bit of a project in mind. Just a real quick one, because I need to solve a bit of a problem. But yeah, this is our temporary tree farm. I don't think this area is going to stay, because this is like right in the centre of the world. And I'll probably have something a little bit fancy here, and we'll move all this stuff somewhere else. But you know what? Already, it served us very well. But right now, I want to get into the nether and sort out our food situation. Okay, so we're in the nether, and I've come across to a crimson forest, and I'm sure everyone has guessed already what I'm doing. I'm just going to build up a really simple hoglin farm, and this is a design by Razeworks. I'll put a link to that down in the description, and this thing is just so easy to build. It's going to take about 5 minutes. Here we've got the chest with hoppers, and then we've got campfires on top. This is a slight variation because I'm supposed to use lava, but you know, this will do the trick. The thing is though, you'd think campfires would cook the meat. Turns out not. I'm going to get raw pork from this, but never mind. Right, so the next steps really is just to build a platform and a little trap for them to fall into this, and that's it. Alright, so I'm just building the platform out of iron blocks, and I have made a bit of mistake, and I haven't brought enough with me. So when I got out of range of this thing, even though I hadn't placed most of the blocks, spawns were absolutely crazy, and I had to go get a bow to clear everything out. But once I got that sorted, I got the rest of it built, and this thing is absolutely crazy. Alright, so let's have a look at this thing. I've just built this little AFK spot over here, and I haven't really done much AFK, and that's really dangerous. I need to get that filled in. But in the time it's taken me to place this little trim around the edge, this is what I've got. Look, listen to the racket in there. Look at that. This is more food than we will ever need. This is crazy. And the leather as well. Definitely going to use this for the books. So I think, you know what? I'll grab all of that. We can take this back, and I'll take as much food as I can carry. I definitely need to get some more stuff unlocked, don't I? But yeah. This thing is absolutely nuts. Designed by Razeworks. Link down below. Make sure you go check it out. Alright, so I've just made a few trips down there, and I've dumped a load of that raw pork chop into my auto smelter. And yeah, I'll just get that bit of that cooked up. But I've got myself a stack, so that'll do for now. And as you can see, I have been cooking up all of these gold swords that I've been getting from this crazy farm. So we can craft these up as well, can't we? Just like that. But I think the next thing I want to do is get another slot unlocked. So I'm on 34 at the minute, so I need to get another 2. And I think I've missed 2 that are going to be really easy. So let's get back to the overworld and give that a go. Okay, so as you'll see here, we have melons. And I forgot I have Silk Touch on there, but that's not a problem because I've already got enough. Because one of the advancements is to get 64 melon stacks. And I have been harvesting these things. I just haven't had them in my inventory in one time. So we'll get those, and that should be another one. There we go, melon farmer. Okay, so that's 35. Right, I need one more. And I think I have a really easy one. If we take this glass that we've been buying from the villagers, all we need is 6 of those. And if we craft the glass panes like that, I think that's another one. There we go, pane collector. Right. So we now have the 4th slot in there. That's great. Right, that's progress. Alright, no more messing about. Let's go on this trading hall. I've just had a really smart idea. Instead of complaining about how little inventory space I have, why don't I just use an ender chest? I've been waiting to get shulker boxes, but you know, this is just as good. So I've got one down in my storage area, and I can leave this one up here, and I can just transfer stuff like this. This is going to make my life so much easier. But now I've done that, I think I've got everything I need to get started on this. So let's get the first layer in. Alright, so we made a lot of progress there, and we got both sides of the first layer done, and I actually made a little bit of a mistake, but it's turned out pretty good. So I said there'd be 15 on each side, but what I did, instead of putting these blocks here like they should have been and leaving 15 gaps, I actually have them flush to the wall, so that means I've got 16 on each side. So that means I've upped my capacity by 6 villagers overall, so I will now have 96 in here, which is pretty good. This trading hall, the layout of it, I definitely can't take credit for it. This is from a design by Strum, and I will leave a link to his video in the description. And that one that I've based it on is absolutely crazy. That one has a capacity of hundreds of villagers. I've done a very cut down version of it, but it's going to work in a very similar way. So the way the villages are held in, we have a slab at the bottom and a stair at the top. So I can crouch through here and get in, but when the villagers stood here, they won't be able to get anywhere. We'll have the workstation at the back behind them, and that'll mean getting the XP will be much easier. It'll just come out of here. Then over here, we have these trapdoors, and that is because we're going to have water flowing down here, and that serves 2 purposes. One, I can just throw all my items into it, because you know when you're trading you can just get clogged up with items that you don't need, and you just want them put away nice and easy. So especially with this mess here, I'm definitely going to want to do that. So I'm going to have water going down there that's going to collect everything, but we're also going to have a call system for emeralds. So we'll have like note blocks in here that will click, and then that'll send us some emeralds. Now in the video that I've linked to, that sends you a full shulker box of emeralds. I'm not going to be doing that. But I will do something similar where I'll get a few stacks of emeralds anyway, and I can do my trading without having to run off and get any. So after the time lapse, I did do a little bit of extra work. Mainly down there, but a little bit over here. I did say I was going to have a staircase over here, and that is still the plan. But for now, before I get that layout designed, I've just got a ladder here. So this is the second floor. I'm just trying to get a feel for the scale of this thing, and it is going to be ridiculous. But then at the back here, we have a little bit of redstone for getting the villagers in. And this is the exact same design as in Strom's video. So we'll have redstone torches powering the powered rails, and then we have a lever here to switch these curved rails back and forth depending on where we want the villagers to go. So you'll notice under here we have note blocks and observers, and this is what we're going to use for the call system for the emeralds. Now there will be a note block in this wall somewhere, and then we'll send observers into these and then go across this way. I can't remember which way I did it now, but yeah, I think it's going across this way. So yeah, this mess of rails. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to get them up here. And there's 2 ways you can approach it. One, you can either just have like a temporary rail set up, get them in, and then get rid of all your rails. Or the way I'm doing it, I'm actually building up something that I'm going to leave. So I toyed with the idea of just having a staircase like this, and then having one for each floor. So I've marked out where they would go. So this is obviously the first one, because that's all got the rails on. The second one would be here, so it's coming a little bit further out, but then the last one will be here, and that is not a lot. So if I did it here, we'd only have like a 3 wide tunnel coming in for whatever we've got over that way. So I've decided not to do it like that. I suppose first we should have a look down here. So this is the rail that's going to come from the villager selection station. It's just going to come up here into the centre bit, and then we're going to have this be able to switch between the 2 sides. And then when we come up here, this isn't going to be here. Now there's that one, and then up here, there's going to be another lever that switches this one from side to side. I do already have it there. So this can either go up into this one, or if we have one going this way, we can spiral around, go into the next one, and they'll have another switchable track up there that'll go into the third one. And I'll do that on both sides, so that means we have 6 destinations. We could do all this manually, But I am toying with the idea of actually doing that from like a control station down here. So if we have a few levers or buttons, I don't know, and we can select which area that the villager goes to, we can just send them straight up there and they'll go straight in. I do need to be up there anyway to switch the levers for which cell they're going into, so it might not be the best idea because I'm going to have to go up there anyway. But, you know, it could be a bit of fun. But also, what I have decided to do as well is to have a curing station down here rather than one up in the trading hall. Because when I did one of these books, it's not this one, the Unbreaking was alright, it was the efficiency one. That was 43, but when I did the first zombie discount, it came out about 20 something, I think. So I did actually have to send him back in there to get zombified again and cured again. And it wasn't easy getting him back along this track. So I think what I'm going to do is have like a station like this, where we have the villager, and then we can just throw the weakness potion, give him the golden apple, and then check out what the price of the trade is. And then we can have two buttons again. One to send him into the trading hall, once we've figured out which track is going on. And then the other button will send him back into there. So that is another thing that I need to get built. But, you know, there is some for this. I think that's going to be a whole episode on its own. I think what I really want to get done today is get the build done. And I'll just manually move the villagers into position for now. So I think that's enough talk, isn't it? Let's jump into a time lapse and get some serious building done. Okay, so a massive amount of building done there, and each section is pretty much finished. Although I didn't have enough resources, so I had to do a few things. I set up a way of mining stone AFK, so I did fill up a double chest of stone, which was a massive help. The thing that took the most time though was the shroom lights, because for some mad reason I decided to use shroom lights behind the villages, which really wasn't necessary, but it was in the original design I was inspired by, so I just went with it because I like how it looks, especially against the dark oak. So to do that I had to chop down a lot of warped fungus trees to get enough shroom lights, so I did end up with a lot of warp stem, and this isn't all of it because I have taken some into the nether to help with another resource I was low on, and that is gold. I didn't have enough gold for the powered rails, so I thought I would try semi-automating this gold farm, but it didn't work. I was thinking if I built a drop shaft with trapdoors, they would just fall down and splat on these hoppers, which they do, but the problem is they do it so quickly that the ones that spawn after that are not aggro at me, so I would need to leave one somewhere that I could just throw snowballs at to keep the aggro, but for now, I've got enough gold. So I'll redo the gold farm at some point, once I have some turtle eggs and the magma blocks. And then while I was in the nether, the other thing I really needed was quartz. So I spent some time at my nether fortress farm killing some blazes to get enough quartz for the observers I need. And while I was doing this, I got my first wither skeleton skull, which is also an advancement, so that's one step closer to another slot. But you don't need to know how difficult it was, you just want to see this thing. And it's not 100% finished yet, it is pretty much there, but there are a few little bits I need to do. Despite that, I think it is looking pretty good. So if you look at this side, this is all done on the side. I've got an absolutely crazy ceiling up there, which I really like this. This has turned out really well. And the emerald blocks they just had to be there. With this being a trading hall, you have to have emerald blocks in it somehow, and to do it and not make it look like it's a creative build is quite challenging sometimes, so you have to be quite subtle with it, but I think this works pretty well in the ceiling. You'll also notice as well, we do already have a villager in here. Because when I accidentally got one out of his minecart, he freaked out because the zombie was there, and he ended up running up the stairs and got stuck down here. So I had him in a minecart, and he was going to be my test subject to get in there when I started recording again, like right now. But I was passing, and I noticed he'd already got in, and that's because these rails already set up, and it was set up like this. So this one was turned off, on, I don't know what I'm going to call that. But anyway, he went into there, and that's the one he's in. So I've decided to put slabs on these as well, or just any block to stop them going in, because when I was testing this in a creative world, I did have the problem when I forgot to switch these after they were in, that I was getting like ones sat on top of the ones that are already in there. So just as an extra safety precaution, I am going to do that once I get them in. Okay, so the rails aren't completely done. I do have this switch here, and I've started experimenting with a little thing. So we'll have a torch tower, and that can go down into where I'm curing the villagers, and then that'll switch the track to go to the other way. And then I'll need another similar setup to that to switch this one to go up to the third track up there, which isn't there yet. And I haven't done any of the tracks at this side yet. So I did say the redstone on its own is going to take all episode, and that is very true. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's all about the build. So coming through here, we have a bit of a staircase going up, but before we get to that, this just goes around this side, and this is completely blocked off at this side. And there are bits, I've run out of stone, I've run out a lot of things, and this is going to look a lot fancier once I get it done. I've made a bit of an effort on the central staircase and this little bit here, and then we come up here into these sections, and I like how open this is, and you can see down to everywhere. And then again, next staircase, haven't decorated in here, and this goes up to the final floor. And this is completely open up here. Need to get the roof on this as well. Down here, I haven't got the water streams in. So what's going to happen is we're going to have water coming along at each section, and that's going to repeat all the way down. But one of the things I haven't got yet is ice. So these blocks under these slabs here are going to have to be ice, so the items will carry on moving once they exit the water stream. So next time, I'm definitely going to need to get an ice farm done, and that's one of the other reasons why I'm not doing the redstone yet. But as far as the build goes, got to be happy with this. I have just noticed I've missed these bits on here because I've started putting these little things on the front, and I have done that most of the way around. I've done it all the way on this side, apart from that one there, but I've got quite a few missing on here, so I'll get that done. But I think what we should do now is see if I can send them up from the curing area, and we need to make sure they'll go into this one. So the rail is set up, so once they come up here, it should just go straight into there. So let's get down here and give that a go. And I've also moved my water over here because it was going through the middle of this thing, and that doesn't look very nice, does it? So I have moved it over here, which I can't get used to. I keep forgetting. But to get to that area, I don't want to be coming down here anyway, do I? I should be going down the staircase that goes into that area. So let's go down here because this is what it's for. Alright, so we've still got a few villagers there. I haven't bred up any more villagers because what I want to do is get through all of these, and then I can move up the other 5 that I've already got down there with the trades locked in, and I can pass them through here, get them zombified, kill them, and then we'll reduce the prices of those trades. So for now, I just want to get this guy into the trading hall. So I'll steal his workstation because we can put that back and just get him on this rail. This is not how we'll be doing in the future, but just for these 3, we can get them up there. Alright, so you go on your way, and you should go into the right place. I'm going to follow you up this way. I will have a better way of getting up there as well once I get all this done and all the redstone sorted. So he should have gone up there now. That was really quick though. Hopefully, yeah, I did switch that the right way. And are you in there? Yes, you're in there. Okay, so because of the way we've got this laid out, he's not going to pop out anywhere if I break this. So let's prove that. There we go. So he's just in there, and I can just put his workstation behind him like that. And we now have 2 villagers in there. So these sections, I haven't completely figured out what I'm going to do with each one, but I do want to separate the villagers into groups. This side will probably just have the ones where I can get the iron trade, so we've got the armourers, the toolsmiths, and the weaponsmiths. I'll probably need at least 1 whole section for librarians, possibly 2. And then we can have a lot of clerics on one so we can get some redstone, maybe some farmers as well, depending on what kind of trades we're going to do. But yeah, got a few things to figure out, but you know what, definitely happy with how this build's gone. Obviously, needs to put a back wall on it, but you know, we just won't look that way for now. It's alright. Right, so between episodes, I think I'm going to get through all of those villagers that I've got down there, and I will move up all the ones from down below, and then next time we can get on with doing some of the more fancier stuff around here. So I'll just get a basic rail setup like we've done here, and I'll get a few villagers in, try and get some decent trades, and we should get some much better gear. And then we can go on with doing the redstone, so we'll get all of this sorting system from this water stream down here, the emerald call system, the automation of getting the villagers up into the right spot. Lots to do, but I think we've done enough for today, haven't we? This episode's already late from when I planned on releasing it, but you know, I think with this build, it's been worth it. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.